Anime. 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 People watch anime for, well, a lot of different reasons. Some people watch for the amazing animations, a heartwarming love story, hilarious comedic moments. But let's be honest, the thing that probably most people watch anime for is kick-ass fight scenes. But you see, out of all of the anime out there which have kick-ass fight scenes, whether it be the likes of Jujutsu Kaisen, Dragon Ball Z, Kengan Ashura, or something like Baki, there is one anime out there, one manga, that many people believe stands high on the mountain above them all. What up, you beautiful people? I am Finn. Welcome back to finnfilms. Join me today as I am discussing a new debuting anime for winter 2025. An anime that is adapted from a manga that is regarded by many in the fandom to have the best fight scenes of any manga and now any anime ever made. That's right, today we are talking about the new TMS Entertainment and Netflix anime, Sakamoto Days. Sakamoto Days is a comedic action manga anime telling the story of Sakamoto. Sakamoto is a legendary former hitman that now lives out his days retired from that violent life, running a convenience store in a quiet Japanese village with his new family. However, all of this changes one day when a former colleague of Sakamoto demands that he return to his old life, this life of assassins and hitmen. The plot of the story of Sakamoto Days largely revolving around Sakamoto coming face to face with these demons of his past as he tries to live out his normal family life. And this story has, hands down, some of the best fight scenes of any manga ever made, which has seen its long-awaited anime adaptation grow to immeasurable levels of hype. Besides the second season of Solo Leveling, Sakamoto Days was by far the anime that I was most looking forward to seeing in winter 2025 anime. As I'm not joking or overstating this, Sakamoto Days, the manga, has some of the best fight scenes, fight choreography, fight kind of ideas of any manga or anime that I have ever seen. I'm talking better than all of the shonen classics from Naruto to Demon Slayer, JJK, Dragon Ball Z, JoJo, Kengan Ashura, and even something as amazing as Baki. Sakamoto Days takes the concept of the fight scene to a whole nother level.
It's a whole nother.
The worry then is when something as amazing as a manga like this is being adapted to an anime, will TMS Entertainment, the studio behind the anime adaptation of Sakamoto Days, be able to live up to the massive amount of hype that this manga has created? Will they be able to capture that same feeling, that same essence, that same amazingness of the fight scenes from the panels of the manga? Episode 1 of the anime opens with this amazingly beautiful high-octane flashback of our boy Sakamoto in his prime. Katana in one hand, pistol in the other, we watch as Sakamoto cuts down his targets left and right, dispatching them with ease in this amazingly beautiful, super dope, over-the-top kind of dramatic animation style. The animations in these scenes having this kind of drawn, almost grainy, comic book style-esque look to it, something that we will see being constantly used within episode 1 of this anime. The anime in these opening kind of flashback sequences giving us just a taste of the high-octane fight scenes that are to come throughout this series until they hit us with this dramatic switch-up. Sakamoto, we learn, was once feared and loved by all within the assassin world, a legendary hitman and assassin considered to be the best in his trade. But one day, Sakamoto's life would completely change. The day that he entered a random convenience store and met her. Sakamoto, we see, instantly fell in love, retiring on the spot and leaving his former life of violence behind, starting a family with his new wife, having a child, and getting fat. However, just because Sakamoto, our main character, has grown fat and lived a life of peace over the last 5 years, running his small convenience store, he is very much still the same dangerous, skilled assassin and man that he once was in his prime. As we see in this opening scene when this kid accidentally spills ink on this jerk-off's white pants, the asshole about to give this tiny kid a beatdown when Sakamoto steps in, stabbing him in the neck with a pencil. Well, at least that's what he thinks about doing. But Sakamoto is a changed man with a family and a new life. This life of violence is long behind him. At least that's what he thinks, until one day this peaceful life is interrupted when a former colleague who has been searching for him over the last 5 years shows up to his store. A hitman named Shin the Psychic, who Sakamoto immediately kills with a palm thrust to the throat. Just kidding, the anime once again giving us the fake out as this only happens in Sakamoto's mind. Shin completely understanding this as, again, he is a psychic. It's in his name after all. Shin sits down with Sakamoto, his former boss, begging him to return to his hitman life, chastising him on the weight that he has gained as he is unable to understand why he would give up on this former assassin life. Shin saying that he barely even recognizes his own colleague, his old boss. Sakamoto, though, we see is still as skilled as ever, as in a blink of an eye, he cuts Shin's cigarette in half with a box cutter as he jokingly points to the no smoking sign. We then learn that Sakamoto has become quite the neighborly family man in this little village, regularly helping all of those in his community with any small task that they might have. Sakamoto using his many skills as a hitman to easily solve all of the problems of his neighbor and the local townsfolk. This infuriates Shin, who vows to return. However, even with all of Sakamoto's changes, the young hitman still idolizes his former mentor in Sakamoto's aura. However, Shin is interrupted from his idol worship with a call from his boss, who we learn has ordered him to bring Sakamoto back to the hitman life, and if he is unable to do this, if Sakamoto were to refuse, he should kill him. As no one can just walk away from the assassin, the hitman life. The only way to leave this life is by blood, is by death. Those are the rules. Shin then accepts that he has no choice. He must kill his former mentor, his former boss, Sakamoto, as if he doesn't, someone else will. The next day, Shin showing back up to Sakamoto's shop, silenced pistol in hand, as he draws his gun, shooting at him. So then, what does Sakamoto do? He spits out his cough drop, deflecting the path of the bullet away from him in a blinding speed. Sakamoto then using a rubber band and cough drops as an improvised slingshot to pepper the would-be assassin, finally hitting his former pupil with a spinning push kick, knocking him unconscious. Shin finally awakens hours later in Sakamoto's home, where he eats dinner with his family. Shin, completely utterly confused about what is going on here, takes one bite of Sakamoto's wife's cooking and loses his shit. It's at this moment that the young assassin understands why Sakamoto chose to leave this life of the hitman, as he wants to protect these little moments of his everyday life and the joy that he gets from the one that he loves. Shin finally accepting that even in his retirement, he is no match for Sakamoto. Shin then returns to his boss, begging him to let Sakamoto live, but he doesn't relent, as again, Sakamoto broke the code of assassins. No one can leave the hitman life. Shin offering to take his own life in exchange for Sakamoto's. His boss accepts this, but Shin knows that he is lying. After all, he is a psychic, and he still plans to kill Sakamoto, Shin being forced to fight his way out of this den of assassins. Meanwhile, back in the convenience store, we see that Sakamoto is listening in on this conversation as he planted an audio bug on Shin's pistol. Sakamoto putting in a code in his register, unlocking an insane John Wick-style Batman-esque vault of assassin weaponry hidden within his convenience store. Sakamoto grabbing a taser of all things from this massive arsenal of weaponry. Shin continues to fight his way out of this den of assassins, using his psychic powers to stay one step ahead. However, Shin, being outnumbered and outgunned, finally takes a bullet to the knee, as he is surrounded by these assassins, as it seems like it is all over for our psychic assassin friend, when out of nowhere, Sakamoto arrives wielding his taser. Donning a pair of chopsticks, we watch as the former god of assassins easily dispatches with all of these goons, deflecting bullets and kicking ass. After 5 years out of the game, 5 years of retirement, Sakamoto is forced to once again take the life of another person, and the overweight man hasn't missed a beat in these last 5 years. The dusk finally clears, Sakamoto and Shin being the only ones standing, Shin thanking him for saving his life, when he is interrupted by an apron being thrown in his face. After nearly 16 minutes of our opening episode, Sakamoto finally utters his first line of the show, saying this: 800 yen an hour. For overtime, I'll pay extra. As Shin the psychic is now a simple convenience store worker, working again with his former boss and mentor. Shin using his psychic powers to help customers and accepting that this new life, this new job working for his old mentor, his old boss, his old friend, might just be better than the violent life of an assassin as our episode ends. I absolutely adore Sakamoto Days, and while there's only been one episode of this anime aired so far at the time of recording, it feels like TMS Entertainment has absolutely nailed the anime adaptation of this kick-ass manga. I said this in my Winter 2025 anime video, but I think that Sakamoto Days might turn out to be the best debut anime of Winter 2025, and it might even be a sleeper pick for the best anime of 2025 when this year is all over. That is, if it's able to live up to the lofty heights of its manga, but I have to say, just one episode in, so far so good for Sakamoto Days. Again, the Sakamoto Days manga is regarded by many to have some of the best fight scenes and fight choreography of any manga ever made, as really the crux of the story of the manga revolves around Sakamoto defeating various assassins in a variety of creative and out-of-the-box ways. I mean, just take a look at some of these manga panels and tell me that you wouldn't want to see this as an anime. I am absolutely in love with this anime. I am absolutely smitten. From its dope soundtrack filled with all sorts of really kind of funky, upbeat, jazzy vibes, to its awesome, really kind of raw animation style, very much resembling a kind of like comic style in the way that it does its kind of grainy, heavily lined style, to its silly comedic humor, and of course, the kick-ass fight scenes. And it very much seems like if Sakamoto Days, the anime, can stay true to what made the manga so popular, I think that this anime will go down as having the best fight scenes of any anime ever made. Of course, though, guys, with these types of videos, these are just my thoughts and opinions, so feel free to let me know yours in the comment section down below. What did you think of Sakamoto Days? Do you think that this anime can live up to the lofty heights of its manga? Let me know in the comment section. If you did enjoy this video, guys, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as your engagement on this video is the easiest way to help support me, and it really does go a long way in putting these videos into the algorithm. If you did enjoy this video, then why don't you check out some of my other anime content on screen now, like my deep dive into one of my favorite anime of all time, Samurai Champloo, and while there will never be another anime like Samurai Champloo. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. As always, guys, stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, adu.